Hello and welcome to another video. So I was going to film this outside, but unfortunately it's incredibly windy, so I'll have to do the intro here. Today we will be going to Scammerdon Steps for a high intensity leg workout to try rebuild the fitness level that I once had, following on from previous videos. Where I live doesn't have a lot of things, but this is one of the things that's probably quite rare to a lot of people. It's basically a dam next to a motorway with a reservoir at the back of it that has about 450 steps up the side of it, making it a great workout to do. However, it is kind of in the middle of nowhere and it's high up, so it's pretty miserable weather. However, that does add to the training side of it in my opinion. So let's get out there and get freezing cold. It's only a short walk from where you can park the car down this slope and along the path, this slope actually being the slippiest point of all of this. The only slight problem with filming here is there is going to be this motorway roar in the background, kind of nothing I can do about it. But nevertheless, you can see how it's a pretty nice place to be up here, quite picturesque, even if it is always way colder up here than it is anywhere else. Slight disaster already. I managed to stay in an ice puddle. But here are the steps. Down to the bottom. We'll speed the video up until I get to the bottom. I don't know what concrete they use for these steps, but they are literally never slippy no matter what condition you seems to come into, even when the path might be deathly to actually get to them. So this dam was built in the 1960s and finished in 1970 and even got opened and unveiled by the Queen. However you do that with a dam, I don't know. I assume it was opening the motorway that runs across the dam. And on the side of it, to get to the access points for the dam, there is 5 flights of stairs totaling 458 steps, making it actually quite a popular workout leg place if you like, although it's rare to see people here when it's cold like this. And that brings us to one of 2 or 3 broken steps on the dam. You do have to watch out for them, but they're really not that bad. The flights are spaced out pretty equally, although the second flight is the highest with 105 steps, with the rest of them being between 80 and 90 steps each. There is also, of course, a reservoir attached to this dam, naturally, and that does have a path that totals 2.5 miles around it. So the popular thing to people to do who are actually good at cardio is they'll run the 2.5 mile round at the reservoir and then go up and down the steps once, and then that'll be their training session. However, for me, I'm more bothered about doing the steps at the minute, so I'm just going to be doing essentially multiple sets of the stairs to help build my legs up while gaining some cardio ability at the same time. I do intend on doing some running separately though. And we are finally nearly at the bottom. It takes a good few minutes to get to the bottom, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes. You could try rush, but I don't recommend it because I believe it's 200 feet from top to bottom, so I wouldn't particularly want to fall down it. And here is the view from the bottom, which when you're looking up at it kind of makes you think, can I be bothered with this? So I'm already freezing, and it's actually colder at the bottom because the wind kind of blows down it. Also, I decided to do deadlifts yesterday because I didn't know when I'd be able to come here, and it turns out this is the day I could be here this week. So I can already feel my legs starting to on the way down, never mind on the way up. But nevertheless, we're going for 3 sets anyway, 3 sets of the full steps. I'll leave this first part in regular speed so you can see kind of the effort that you end up putting in trying to get up these. This also feels like I'm jogging, but it looks like I'm walking extremely slowly. One thing that's actually good about these steps from a workout perspective is they're quite small steps as you can see, but they're also quite narrow together and not that high in between each step, which means you've kind of got a choice of what to do. You can either go 1 step at a time and really work your calves, or you can take 2 steps at a time and really work your quads. And as you can tell, I am already wrecked. Unsurprisingly, I had to walk up the next flight. What I typically used to do is run up the first one, walk up the second, run up the third, walk up the fourth, and sprint to the finish, or try to. However, it's been a hell of a long time since I've done that, so that's just not happening. As you can see, even when this video is sped up. Oh my God.
Only on flight 2. I was at like 180 steps at 450. Jesus. It's been so long since I've done this. It's diabolical. But I think it's literally the best thing you can do for cardio and for legs.
But yeah, I'll reaffirm that now I'm editing. Out of all of the different methods that I've tried to train over the years, whether it's heavy squats, light squats, reps, whatever it is, this is by far the best thing I've found.
Flight 3. I'll walk up the next one, try run at the last flight, probably die. Cardiac arrest.
What I typically used to do and what I intend on doing now is basically doing this as like a training block. So I used to do about 6 to 10 weeks of this, doing it at least once a week. And of course, while you might not notice a particular improvement in overall strength, the amount that my cardio would improve by doing this, as well as improving on being able to do more sets in the gym, so far is unparalleled to anything I've done.
Last one. Flight 4. Try run it. Say run. Dying.
Although, to be fair, this is the only little part of the entire steps that I still have some slush on them. So kind of could push myself anyway.
Flight 5.
And then it's time to go straight back down again for set number 2. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with the entire flight back down. Hopefully next time I'll be able to come with a friend, and then that'll make the filming a bit more interesting as well.
So, that took around 5.5 minutes, I think, something like that, to get from bottom to top. I'm actually going to try not running the first flight because I don't know if that actually slow me down. I'm that unfit. It's been so long since I've done this. Oh, it's slower than I was, but actually I don't think it's too bad. It's kind of how I expected, to be honest. Anyway, down the other flights.
But as I was saying, from the workout perspective, I think things that make this the ultimate leg workout that you don't perhaps immediately think of is things like there is no railings to actually help you get up these steps. You can't put your weight on any railings. It's not like being on a step master where you can hold on to the sides. These steps also aren't that wide, so you literally can't dither around that much. That also means that as your legs get more tired, there's also more effort put into actually balancing yourselves on these legs and working out those little stabilizer muscles that you've got, while at the same time providing basically no way you can cheat that. For example, if you're squatting, you can kind of lean forward a bit or basically worsen your form to get up at the top of the squat. Whereas here, there's none of that because you're just walking up a flight of stairs. Which also means you've got to put effort into setting your own pace, unlike when you're on a Stairmaster.
on flight 3. We're even slower than before. 2 more flights and 1 more lap. 4th flight, 1 more flight, and then 1 more lap. My God, I miscounted, I've still got 1 more to go. Jesus. That's 2 sets. It's starting to get dark now. So hopefully I'll just get this next set done before it's dark and then go. Time for the final set to make 3 sets. But anyway, we'll get on. Last set to go.
And it does appear that I tried to run this first flight again on the last lap. Honestly, it feels like you're running even though it really doesn't look it. Although as I'm watching the footage back, it does appear that I was actually better on this first flight than I was on the very first flight. So pluses.
Oh. Dying already.
Now, because my quads were quite tired on this one, I did take these at 1 at a time to alleviate my quads and put the weight on my calves a bit. So I have just sped this up straight from the start because it took a hell of a long time to do this set. Which, as my legs felt extremely cooked already, I did have to pause. But you can actually see the steepness, at least, as I'm looking left and right. You can tell that at even 3 times speed that, yeah, this was quite a slow one, to be honest.
Flight 2, had that one steady. Try to go faster on the next one.
But as I was saying, from the fitness point of view, because these are actually like an awkwardly sized step in both height and shape and length and everything, it does mean that unless you're ridiculously tall or ridiculously small, that the awkwardness basically adds to the workout. So if you're taking 2 steps at a time, you are essentially doing a mini lunge all the way to the top. And if you are doing the 1 step at a time, you are essentially doing mini calf raises all the way up. So you're able to really target different muscle groups there, depending on how tired you are in each one.
That was flight 3. 2 more to go.
And lastly, even though this workout is effectively quite short, the amount of effort you have to put in to do it really does destroy your legs and get the cardio side working hard. On one side, it does only take half an hour to do it, but at the other side, you are effectively climbing 1,374 steps if you take them as single, or 687 if you take them as a double. That being if you only do 3 sets, of course.
That was flight 4. I am giving it a minute, just because I want to try and actually run up this last flight, as it is the last one of the day. I'll probably get about 4 steps up, but never mind.
As this is the last flight of the day, I'll state what improvements I want to see as I go forward. And that's that by the time I finish this kind of 6 to 10 week block, I basically just want to be able to do this a lot faster, at least be able to do it like I used to do, where I do fast, slow, fast, slow, fast to finish, as well as do it a lot faster and maybe even do more than 3 sets when I come here. Problem is, after 3 sets, my legs are completely done at the minute, but I'm sure I'll be able to improve on that. The only potential problem I actually see to doing this is simply that getting here from where I live is a bit of a trek. It's not that it's mega far, but you've got a travel time of about 40 minutes either way, potentially more if there's traffic at rush hour, which is also one of the reasons why I only tend to do a 6 to 10 week block of this, because frankly it just starts to drag on your time having to come up here all the time. Which I know there'll be some Australian or American who's like, that's just like popping over to the shop across the road. But it's the fact that when you add the travel time to it, it's 2 hours, and obviously there's a lot of different stuff you can do with 2 hours, whether that's a long run or some boxing things.
And so back to the card just before dark, so that worked out all right. So what I'm typically doing on the channel is creating my own powered armoured exoskeleton. So if that's something that interests you, please feel free to look at the rest of the channel. For any of the regular viewers, there'll of course be more updates on that soon, typically weekly. So with that said, thank you for watching, hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next video.